Tell us a bit about your MasterChef journey.
I think being a MasterChef was both the biggest challenge in my life and the biggest opportunity I've ever had, because it was a TV show at the end of the day, you know? So it wasn't all about cooking as I figured it would be when I got in there. I went to the casting, and when I was in there, I realized it was a TV show, also about cooking, of course, but it wasn't going to build my career or to add to my career unless I chased that,
Correct.
unless I made it out of that.
So, welcome to another episode of Kapi with Kiran, and I'm in one of my favorite cities, Bombay, and I'm going to meet, I have a very, very close friend who's flown down all the way from Mexico. She is someone who I've been waiting to do this podcast with, and here we are today. Welcome, Regina.
Thank you.
Welcome to India again. Looks like you're in love with our country and probably us.
Yes.
And welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling today?
I'm so excited to be here. I am indeed in love with your country. I never imagined I would visit India in my life. I never even thought of it. And from the moment I stepped here for the first time, I fell in love. And we've mentioned before that I might have been Indian in another life.
Probably. Yeah, 100%. There's no question about it. Probably this is your third time.
Yeah.
In how many years?
Third time in a year.
Wow.
Less than a year, actually, like 8 months.
India's bringing you back again and
Yeah.
again, isn't it?
I'll keep coming back every time.
And every time you come, there's something new with World in a Plate. We do
Yeah.
something different,
A
something
lot of
new.
developments.
Yeah, and we are very excited to have you. All of your tours are stunning. We have some of the best times, and I'm always on those tours personally because the food is stunning. It's unbelievable. There's so much of cultural similarities between you and us, and so this is here we are. So tell us about your journey. How did you tell us more about firstly you? Where are you from? Mexico is obviously decent sized country, and where are you from? Actually,
I was actually born in a town that has a beach called Acapulco. Maybe you've heard of it because it was hit by a hurricane a few months ago.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful town and it has a lot of fishing activity. That's why I fell in love with seafood. I lived there for my first 5 years, and then I went to another small town called León in a state named Guanajuato. That's where I grew up. That's where I did all of my studies until I had to go to college. That's when I moved to Mexico City, where I actually live now. I went there just for college and found a great opportunity to find work and keep learning there. So I stayed there, and that's my base now.
Amazing. So you're like a small town girl going to a big city. Similar to every other, success stories. Like a movie star, coming to Mexico City.
Yeah, I'm living the dream in the city.
Are you living a dream in the
Yes,
city?
I am.
Amazing. So why did you start cooking? What is the love for cooking? How did you start this whole journey of cooking?
I think I've always had it in me since I was a child, but it definitely came from my family, from my mother, from my grandmother. They all love cooking. All the women in my family are very keen to cooking, and we always gather together in the kitchen. When there's family reunions, we're all together in the kitchen, sharing recipes, sharing memories, having a cup of wine. So it became my favorite place to be, the kitchen, because that's where I shared most of my childhood moments with my family. I always helped my mom cook ever since I was a child. And there's a lot of culinary fishing action in my hometown where I was born. So my first years of life were very connected to seafood, to cooking, and to local products. So that's why I fell in love with it.
Amazing. So what is that one, recipe, or rather a dish which you still enjoy your mom's cooking, which you say that you're inspired by? Can I say you're inspired by your mother's cooking?
Yeah, by my mother's and my grandmother's.
So what is that one dish which you still enjoy, firstly experiencing or even cooking for people and putting it on the plate? What is that dish which you...
There's two dishes like that for that answer, because the dish I enjoy the most, my mom cooks. I don't cook for anyone. I don't even cook for myself, because no one can make it like my mom.
course,
It's a
yeah.
vegetable soup that she always made when I lived with her in my hometown, and she made it when I was sick. I also remember a lot a dish that kind of made me be more curious about food when I was young. It's
Amazing.
some caramelized carrots.
Wow.
My mom was always looking for new ways to cook because she knew I enjoyed different ways of eating. So
Of
she was
course.
always trying to make creative dishes for me. And these
Mm.
glazed carrots were like
Amazing.
a bomb for me, and I fell in love with that. And it made me be more curious about ways of preparing food.
Probably that's probably your first teacher, I must say.
Yeah,
Your
she
mother.
absolutely was my first teacher.
And so she was rather inspired to cook to impress you so that you
Yeah,
eat.
exactly. She
Amazing.
noticed I enjoyed food, so she was always trying to make different ways of cooking for me. She was always
Amazing.
trying to amuse me.
So how come that dish is not, we don't have the opportunity to eat that dish?
Because I wouldn't be able to pull it out like her.
Have you not asked her that, listen, I need that recipe?
Yeah, I've done it myself a few times at home.
It doesn't
but
come.
it doesn't taste the same.
Is
Yeah.
it that extra bit of love and
I guess.
care and
I think she has a secret she hasn't told me.
probably, yeah, she'll never tell you.
Yeah.
That's always with the grandmoms and the moms.
Yeah.
Right? So what do you think, I mean, talking about this conversation from kitchens in people's homes to kitchens, in a professional kitchen, in the way you're cooking these days. What's happening? I mean, I want to understand as a chef. Now you're a chef. I can call you a chef. When is I've met a lot of chefs. Been happy to work with a lot of chefs. A lot of chefs even say now that culinary is still in people's homes.
Yeah, it is.
When do you think that kind of
Fusion.
confluence will ever happen? Where or is it happening now? Where like you would go to your mom and say, "Hey, listen, I need this recipe. I want to get
Yeah.
this out to people. I want people to taste it."
Um,
What do you think is going to happen? Is it possible?
Yes, it absolutely is. I think that's actually what moves the culinary world, like to have these ratatouille moments where you get a throwback of a happy moment just by tasting a bite of a dish.
Correct.
And I think chefs are always chasing after home flavors, something that makes you feel comfortable, like comfort
Yeah,
food,
yeah.
but applying new techniques to it. So it's about chasing the flavors your heart loves, but making it a different technique or a new way of cooking it to make it more attractive, more gourmet, more professional, but still having that home-like flavor.
But don't you think, I mean, my thought, I mean, this is obviously a very candid conversation. We've not, written a script around it. Don't you think that since culinary is at people's home, and now I would want to, now you told me about the carrot soup, right? Which is a vegetarian soup. I'd love to taste it as is, because I feel the value of you coming from, say, Mexico and cooking, say, in India, is that is the culture which you're
Yeah.
actually bringing from there to here. If you're going to make, now say for example you make that dish better looking and presentable or more professional, isn't that taking away the beauty of the dish? Like I always say that Indian cuisine, whatever you do, while I'm sure that, there are a lot of chefs who are pushing the envelope of Indian cuisine and creating good looking dishes, but Indian cuisine is all about flavor. It's all about non-presentation. It's very generous,
Yeah.
generosity. So that's my question to you. The next question is that the essence of your mom's dish is going to go away if you make it look better? Don't
Not
you
at
think?
all. The essence
Yeah.
of our dishes is in the flavor, not in the presentation.
Okay.
So you can apply different techniques, you can make different platings, as long as you keep the flavor that reminds you of home or of the person who inspired you to make that dish. I think you keep on respecting it. And we
Okay.
also have a lot of techniques that we use in Mexico that keep that flavors. So as long as when you're making the dish, you're respecting the way, like, it's math, it's regular math,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how you plate it.
So you're fully on to create, old flavors from home, but plating it beautifully.
Yes, I'm all about plating. I actually love plating ever since I was a child. I used to play
Yeah.
with pine nuts and small red berries that I found in bushes and plating on top of a rock,
Yeah, wow.
pretending it was
Really?
food. Yeah.
Amazing. No wonder your food comes out beautifully.
Thank you.
And that's the compliment which a lot of people have told us about your food.
Thanks.
So now talking about culinary and cuisine, right? What is the similarity? I mean, I see obviously, I mean, we are connected, the globe is connected.
Yeah.
Cuisine and ingredients have gone from one part of the world to the other. How similar and how different is Mexican and Indian cuisine?
I was actually very surprised to see how similar they are when I first tried Indian food. And I understood later that it's absolutely a global connection because if on a world map on a globe, you put your finger in Mexico and you turn it exactly halfway, you get to India.
Oh my God.
So we're on the same level of the globe, just across each other.
Many of us look the same as well.
And we have a lot of same dishes, a lot of same herbs like coriander. We also use in both cultures a lot of curry, a lot of cumin,
Chilies.
a lot of chilies. In Mexico, we have a huge variety of chilies. We love spices in both places. I think the difference is that in Mexico, we try to make it spicy to the hot side, and in India is to the spiciness, to actually feeling all the spices you have there. And I don't know, I don't see a lot of differences because the math of the recipes is very similar. Like the way we make a mole, you make a curry here,
Correct, yeah.
so it's very similar and very beautiful to find all the similarities in a bite,
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
So similar, but yet so different, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the word, right? Tell me about the most favorite part of your kitchen.
Like physical part?
Yeah.
The stove and oven. The hot kitchen is my favorite
Is it?
part. Yeah.
Mhm.
I always wanted to be a pastry chef actually when I was a child. But
Sure.
the minute I got into cooking school and I started learning about pans and frying and
That
baking
whole action of-
ovens, I fell in love with that and I decided I'm definitely a hot kitchen girl.
Amazing. Lovely. And who's your inspiration in the professional world? You've worked with a lot of chefs.
Yeah.
That's one thing which I keep seeing your work on Instagram, and you travel the world and you cook with people.
Yeah.
Who's that favorite chef who inspires you? And at some point, you want to kind of be that person, that different. I mean, at that level.
Yeah. The first chef that inspired me when I was young was Massimo Bottura from the Osteria Francescana in Italy. I think he made the impossible by making a culinary revolution in Italy, which is a country that's very stubborn to their cooking culture, like from the nonnas and this ancient cooking culture, that the community was rejecting the new techniques and the modern cooking world, and he made them accept it by giving them exactly what I was talking about
making it
giving
look
them
good,
home flavors in an amazing presentation and with amazing techniques. So he inspired me a lot. He's definitely my top chef.
Number one.
And I've worked with a lot of chefs that I also admire a lot. I had the pleasure to serve Anthony Luis and Ruiz. I've worked with a lot of Michelin starred chefs in Mexico, so I've been very blessed to be able to learn from some of the best chefs.
Amazing. What would be that one ingredient which you'd want to, like, if someone tells you that there's only 2 things you have in your kitchen to impress somebody?
To cook and impress somebody?
Yeah. So pick 2 ingredients and you want to pick that up and I want to cook something out of that. What's your main ingredient? What are you really good at?
I usually use a lot of rosemary. It's my favorite herb for sure. I think it has a lot of personality, a lot of smell, a nice smell, a nice flavor, and it adds a lot of deepness into every dish. And I would also choose corn because it's very Mexican and it has a lot of ways to use it. You can do a lot of things to it.
So what's your favorite corn dish?
My favorite corn dish, it's the simplest corn dish, a quesadilla.
Okay.
It's just
a quesadilla, of course.
nixtamalized corn tortilla with cheese. But it's been my dinner since I was a child for almost every day, so it gives me a home feeling.
Amazing. What do you think of Tex-Mex cuisine? Now, you know that obviously, I mean, I actually want to understand the story behind Tex-Mex cuisine.
Yeah.
How did that cuisine come about? And how have they made it? Obviously, Americans know how to make everything popular.
Yeah.
Also, the other side of things as well. But how did Mexican Tex-Mex cuisine come about, and what do you think about it?
I'm not really a fan of Tex-Mex cuisine. I like the dishes, I like the flavors, but I don't like the fact that most of the world thinks Tex-Mex is Mexican cuisine, which is not at all. It was born from the mix when the state of Texas was added to the USA. The Mexican recipes were mixed with the American recipes, but nachos with chili and beans is not Mexican plates at all.
Yeah.
So it's tasty, it's nice, but it's not Mexican. It doesn't have any Mexican techniques. So it's like, it's more an American southern
Dish.
cuisine than a Mexican one.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
100%. So if you put a restaurant, the day you open a restaurant in a country like India, for example, what are the 5 dishes you'll want to put up on that in that restaurant
I would absolutely put
to at least take the myth off, people's mind, saying that it's the same thing with Indian cuisine, right?
Yeah.
And if I take, if I ask you if a normal guy knows about Indian cuisine, he'll know chicken tikka masala, these 4 things. We don't know anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't know anything else. It's the same with us. We just know quesadilla, these 5 things.
Yeah.
What are those 5 dishes you'll put in your restaurant, which is very different? I mean, which is Mexican?
Yeah, I would definitely include a lot of seafood because we have amazing sea products there. I would first of all put the Baja style fish tacos, which are my favorite kind of tacos. They make it in different ways all along the Baja California coast. They have temperized fish, white flour tortillas, pico de gallo sauce, a lot of avocado cream, some conserved cabbage. They're amazing. I would also have to add Mexican red rice, which we are having in our pop-up.
Oh, yeah,
It's
amazing.
my favorite way to eat rice. My mom made it amazingly. I also don't know the recipe for that, but it's cooked in a tomato sauce, which is amazing. Mole, of course. We
Yeah.
have a lot of kinds of mole. We are making pink mole, but we have almond mole.
What is a pink mole?
Pink
For
mole
people to
is the traditional recipe of mole, just with light colored nuts
know?
to make it lighter with almonds, pine nuts, all of that. And we are also adding a little bit of beetroot to make it pink. And the secret to mole is that at the end, you season it with chocolate.
Oh, really?
And for the pink mole, we are using ruby chocolate, which will give
Oh my
it
God.
a little tangy flavor. And it'll be like the perfect touch at the end.
Amazing. So tell us about your experience, your favorite place in India, or your travels to India. You've been here 3 times now.
Yeah.
What is your favorite part of India, and one place which you haven't been
Okay. We all know that answer. But yeah,
for the world?
my
We
favorite
kind of-
part so far has been Bombay. I loved it. I think it's a very overwhelming city. It's always moving. It's always happening something everywhere. So I love that kind of movement in a city.
It's like New York.
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
move. Yeah.
And my most memorable experience was our first dinner in Goa. I think it was a magical night in the middle of the
yeah.
jungle with a lot of people, a sit-down menu, which was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was my first sit-down here,
Mhm,
so
yeah.
I was very nervous, very excited, and it was an unforgettable night for me.
Amazing.
And a place I haven't been to, I hope to be able to visit this time,
This
is
year.
the Taj Mahal. I haven't been there. I've tried it 2 times. On every trip I've been here, I've tried to go. And I've been closer every time, so let's hope next time we get it.
Tell us about the second trip when you went the last time. How did you miss going to the Taj Mahal? For people to know.
It was a language barrier. I must make sure of that. You have to know that. But the driver who took me took his time. I couldn't speak to him because he didn't speak English. I didn't speak Indian. And when we got there,
Hindi.
I didn't speak Hindi.
It's not Indian.
And when we finally got to Agra, the Taj was closed half an hour before for the winter schedule. So,
Oh my God.
yeah, we had a 10-hour road trip just to see Agra.
Without the Taj Mahal.
Yeah,
That's unique. It's pretty unique.
yeah, I
right?
hope I get it this time.
You will. With us.
I
we're
even brought
gonna
my
take
sari to wear there.
it. Yeah. So, what is your favorite food in India?
Dosas, definitely. And I must say I am in love with masala tea. My father used to live here for a while. And
Wow.
he fell in love with India. India is his favorite country. He fell in love with the
My
ashrams,
God.
with the meditations. He I grew up looking at a picture of his meditation master on his side table of the bed,
Wow.
wondering who is that guy and why does he have a red dot in the middle of his eyes. Now I understand everything. But I grew up with my father making masala tea for me.
Oh,
so when I
wow.
tried it here, it was like a ratatouille moment. And you've seen I have masala tea every
All
chance
the
I
time.
get.
What about another dish? Of course, dosa you've told me about.
Dosa is amazing. I also love butter chicken. I try to make it at home very often.
Are you successful?
A little, yeah.
Have you been able to impress your friends saying that I learned?
I did impress my friends,
What did
but
they
it
say?
doesn't taste the same.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very
Can't.
close. It's very close.
It cannot, right?
Yeah.
So what's the journey from here? What is what is your journey from Regina right now to the next 5 years? Where you see yourself? What do you want to achieve
My
in your
goal,
professional life?
my goal is to always keep on learning. I think I have a lot to learn. I'm very hungry to know more about different techniques, different ways of cooking with different chefs, learning from them. I always consider myself a sponge when I'm working with a chef, trying to absorb everything I can from them and then applying it my own way with my own home flavors. So 5 years from now, I hope to know a lot more, have a lot more skills in cooking, plating, recipes, techniques, read a lot, and I hope to have my own fine dining place.
That I can see that happening very, very soon. The one question I missed out right in the middle, and of course, you're very popular. A lot of people know you in Mexico and now also in India. How did the MasterChef journey, kind of make you as a person, build your personality, help you push your skills up there? Tell us a bit about your MasterChef journey.
I think being a MasterChef was both the biggest challenge in my life and the biggest opportunity I've ever had, because it was a TV show at the end of the day, So it wasn't all about cooking as I figured it would be when I got in there. I went to the casting, and when I was in there, I realized it was a TV show, also about cooking, of course, but it wasn't going to build my career or to add to my career unless I chased that.
Correct.
Unless I made it out of that. So what I did was see to where I got. I got to the final. I never
amazing.
thought that would happen.
Yeah.
But I asked all of the invited chefs who were actually big personalities in the culinary world of the country for a job. Because I
Amazing.
didn't want to continue working on TV or shows or anything like that. I was like, okay, I have this opportunity in front of me. I think life is what you make of your opportunities. If you are able to direction them to your goals, then your goal won't change it. Only the path to the goal,
You'll get there, but you're
It'll be a different path. Life shows you different options always, so it's what you make of them.
100%.
And after the program, instead of working on the TV or trying to be famous or socialite from the TV world in Mexico, I asked all of the invited chefs to give me a job in their kitchens to learn. And I started from the bottom in a kitchen because I didn't finish school after the program. I instead got to work, and that's how I got the opportunity to work with Michelin-starred chefs and 50 best chefs, because they were invited to the program and they all told me, if you want to do this seriously after you're playing TV, come and find
Come and
me.
learn.
And that's what I did. I learned from a lot of them.
So it was a
I
great
worked-
set place to connect with people and make yourself give yourself an opportunity
Yeah.
to actually go and cook in the kitchen.
to actually learn and get a job. I wasn't interested in fame.
The kitchen and the restaurant scene looks so glamorous, but what actually happens behind the scenes, and what would you advise women in the industry? I mean, they say still it's the man's world out there.
Yeah.
What would you advise a lot of youngsters, college, hotel, college, school people who ask questions like how easy or how difficult it is for a woman, especially the hot kitchen.
Yeah.
Pastry has seen a lot of great women, and so what's your advice?
I think it is indeed a man's world still, but luckily Mexico is a very open-minded scene in the industry. So yes, it's still like a majority of men working in the kitchens, a majority of men having successful restaurants and renamed and all of that stuff, having the awards and everything. But they are all open to women making their own way. So
Nice.
when you get into a kitchen, I started from the bottom, and I wasn't doubted because of being a woman. I was doubted because of coming from the TV and being new in the kitchen world. But if you prove yourself to be making improvements, to be learning, and to be becoming better every day, they let you make your own way.
Okay.
They let you go up, up, up as long as you want, as long as you're working for it and you're proving yourself. So they're not like, oh, you're a woman, you won't be able to do it, but you still have to show up for yourself.
What about the the taboo of the casting couch, which is there everywhere, in movies, in even you gotta probably impress your boss to go up the ladder. Is that there in kitchens? Let's be honest, yeah.
There is a lot of abuse, also of authority abuse from male chefs to both male and woman chefs, or male and woman cooks. But yeah, you have to impress your boss, but you have to show your skills. You have to earn your place. That's basically what happens.
So do you know, is there a place, I mean, this is all advice, right? Especially I want women who are going to cook and be, want to go take that path and go, it's no better answer from a woman who's already been cooking, right?
Yeah, my advice would be...
How do you say a no to a colleague who's, or a boss who's trying to, go beyond his...
Yeah.
The space he needs to be at, right?
You have to say it just like that
Very
and speak
straight.
to his boss, which I didn't do at the right time. It ended up by me quitting the restaurant because I couldn't take it anymore. But my advice would be to speak up the moment you sense something, even if he can say something to you or he can harass you. Speak to his boss, tell the truth, and stay true to yourself. My biggest advice would be not to stay quiet and to keep on pursuing yourself, not to lose hopes because of being a woman, because of being doubted. Just keep on showing up, keep on working, keep on improving, and you'll shut their mouths.
Amazing. Tell us about your passion. What do you do outside of cooking?
Outside of cooking, my passion is running.
We can see
I fell in love with running after the pandemic. Well, during the pandemic, I didn't have much else to do because I wasn't working in the kitchen. I just quit 1 month before the shutdown. So I was running all day and I started loving it a lot. My mom has been a runner for quite a few years. So
really? Okay.
then I started running. We're on together now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Amazing.
it turned into a passion, a therapy, and I turned
It
out
is,
to
it
be
is,
good
right?
at it. So I keep on doing it. I enjoy it a lot. It's quite one of my favorite parts of the day.
So it is almost like everybody needs that, one thing they'd like to do.
Yeah.
It keeps them awake, keeps them sane.
Exactly what it does.
Keeps them sane. So I see you, you're twitching already that, hey, I want to run. It's more
Yeah,
for that.
I think it's like the space where you can disconnect from everything and just focus on yourself, on your thoughts, on your breath, and just chill.
So I believe you just finished at 21K.
Yeah, I
recently.
did last weekend.
What is your timing?
An hour
For
44.
runners in the house.
An hour 44.
That's amazing. Where was this?
This was in Mexico City. It was my best time for a altitude race because Mexico City is quite high. And my secret formula is to train on a high city and race on a sea level city because the sea
like
level
Mumbai.
always works.
You ran the Mumbai Marathon
Yeah.
as well, right?
Yeah, in January.
So what's advice on food for running? I think that's a space which, I want to explore all your
Yeah.
everything out of your brain, which I want to give it to my customers. And
I recently
people who are watching.
learned
Yeah.
that the key to becoming a better runner is eating a lot.
Is it?
I used to think if I ate a lot, I would feel heavy or gain weight or won't be as strong. And it's actually the other way around.
Is it?
Now I'm eating like a champion and running
Really?
like a champion. I'm having a high protein diet, high carb diet, and it's not frightening at all. It gives me more energy, it makes me be faster, it makes me be stronger. So
Is it?
I'm enjoying it a lot, but I'm hungry all day now.
This is new. This is new to me. And,
Yeah.
a lot of people must know that.
I've been on this.
How many meals do you eat?
I eat 5 meals a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's is there like a quantity?
I'm trying to eat 130 available grams of protein every day, which is like more than half a kilo.
It's high
of
time we go and get
protein.
some protein for you now.
Yeah.
100%
So my
right.
metabolism has gotten used to that. I've been getting good results, but now I'm hungry the whole day.
Two last questions, and of course we do a small rapid fire, and we kind of get away. What can you not live without in a kitchen?
My precision chef tweezers. They're like a second pair of hands, but they are more specific to grab small things, to make jobs that my fingers can't do alone. So it's like an extension of my hand that's more delicate.
More delicate than your hand.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And the last one is, what do you think of hunger as a thought process? I mean, hunger as a, there's hungry people all over the world. What
Yeah.
would Regina do, if, to eradicate hunger?
I think the solution is quite clear, and it's part of the movement I am part of as a chef, which is sustainability. If we use sustainable products and we are responsible consumers of only purchasing what we are going to eat and eating all of what we purchase, then supermarkets and all these food chain stores would purchase less product. So producers and fishers and fish farms and vegetable farms, farmers, cattle farms would produce less and healthier and better quality products. So the amount would be less, the waste would be less, and I think there would be enough food for
Everyone.
all the people. There's actually this study that says that the waste of the food in the world could end with world hunger 3 times if we
Easy.
didn't waste it.
Probably the other side of things is logistics, of getting food to the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Because this is obviously a good thought. What about the thought of just making sure that the hotels were producing 100 kgs of something,
Yeah, exactly.
being transported to the right space, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean with conscious
Because that's what we
purchase
saw.
food.
Yeah.
And about making sure everything you eat is consumed and making the most
Also
of each
caring about your
product.
produce, right? I see a lot of
Yeah, quality
chefs and
produce
hotels
and trying to
throwing
make
away
No,
produce
yeah, you have
just
to-
easily.
you have to try to make the less amount of waste you can out of each product. There's chefs doing salt out of fish bones and
100%.
umami powder
Like
out of
I was just
vegetable
chatting with somebody the other day
leftovers.
that they were saying that, hey, people who do these massive events, the way they discard food
Yeah,
is
it's very
ridiculous.
sad.
And I think that's something which you as probably you should also talk about in your Instagram, and because you're all influencers, people are going to listen to you guys, and
Yes.
it's something I'm excited to, maybe you create that whole space of talking about hunger as one of the things.
Yes, we're all
Because I'm very
about
passionate about it.
I'm all about sustainability and good practices for farmers in all of the different areas of farming, fishing, cattle, vegetables, fruits, and about making the most of each product you use.
Amazing. How important is a pet in your life?
A pet. She's my whole life.
Tell us
I
about
have a dog daughter. Her
Yeah.
name is Kiara. She came to me, they say dogs choose you.
Yeah.
And when I was living alone for like a year, I was feeling stable and I said I need a dog because I've always had a dog in my life. So I started looking at rescue pages because I think it's very important to adopt, not purchase dogs. And I found that this girl had rescued a couple of puppies, like a pack of puppies and their mother. And I saw her picture and went crazy for her and asked for her adoption. And the minute she came, I fell in love with her, and now she's my companion. She goes with me everywhere, and
Hopefully we can
Yeah.
bring her here.
I hope so. Yeah, I take her to the beach very often.
Probably when we open our restaurant.
Yeah,
together.
she'll definitely be here to cut the ribbon.
100%. Rapid fire now.
Okay,
Right. Let's go for it. Sweet or salt?
sweet.
Really?
Absolutely.
You can live without salt?
Yeah, I can't live without chocolate.
But can you live without salt?
Yeah,
How are you going to cook?
because I would rather live without salt than live without chocolate, which is sweet. so sweet.
Imagine ceviche without salt.
Yeah.
Seasoning.
It's okay.
They are not going to serve
If
that.
you put mango on it, which is sweet, it will be perfect.
Okay. 5 a.m. in the kitchen or 5 a.m. for a run?
5 a.m. for a run. 5 a.m. in the kitchen is dangerous.
Too much.
The run wakes you up and then you can go to the
Go back
kitchen.
to the kitchen. Indian roti or a tortilla?
That's a hard one. But
People
I
are
would
watching.
stay
There are more
with the
Indian
tortilla.
audiences. There are more Indian audiences.
Tortilla is in my heart. I love roti, but
Oh,
tortilla is
you
in my
said
heart.
that. We are in your heart now.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Knife skills or plating skills?
Plating skills. I think that comes
Yeah.
from you. You can learn it, but
Mhm.
it comes from within you. And knife skills, you can totally learn on the way.
Amazing. Superb having you as usual and chatting about you as Rahina, and always a pleasure hanging out with you.
Thank you.
And thank you for being part of my episode.
Thank you for inviting me.
Bye bye. See you
Bye-bye.
soon. On the other side.
See you on the tour.
See you in 5 minutes.
Yeah.